Hey folks, it's Frithgar here, how you doing? Welcome back to Farming Simulator 19 here on Ravenport. We are going to carry straight on from where we left off in the last episode, so let's get to it. Looking for the TMR symbol now. It's got to be here somewhere. Well, anyway, doesn't really matter. There is one that's like what we used, I think it was in the Gorali series in FS17. It's a placeable where you go and put in the ingredients for the TMR and then it does it all out. And it's really good. I really like that one. And so I'd like to be able to use that for the series. I want to be able to... Yeah, here we go. The gate broken on there. I'd like to be able to use it for the series, and I think it'd be absolutely perfect because we'll be able to load up a lot of bales into it and get bulk amounts of TMR coming out rather than having to do it just a couple bales at a time, which is a very time-consuming process when we're trying to... $111,000 for our first trailer full. Hopefully it'll be exactly the same for the second trailer full as well. So we'll unload that one right there. There we go. Another $111,000. That'll take us up to over $800,000. Remember, we've got to get something like $2 million in order to be able to buy up the rest of the land. But we've got like almost $250,000 just from selling the wheat here. So I'm thinking that's pretty good. There's another $111,000 right there. I'm thinking that's pretty good. Getting $250,000, that 1,300 there, that's a pretty good price, that is. Land over here, we got that one there for 423 and that for 495. We can not quite afford both of them, but we're getting very close, and then it's 1.2 for that. We've still got, obviously, a load more silage to sell at the biogas plant, which we will do more of. I'm not going to do it just yet, but we will do more of it. So there's a load more money to come in yet from that. Let's bring this one round here. We need to get back up and empty out both the combines now, and the one field will be almost done. There won't be a lot left in that one field. So at the moment, like I said, I'm leaning quite heavily towards not doing the cotton. I've been thinking about this, and I am leaning heavily towards not doing cotton to finish up, just planting another crop like canola or beans or something that'll harvest relatively quickly, and doing cotton on the next map. I think it'd be I think it would be a bit better. I mean, I don't know. It could end up that we want to do it on here, but ultimately I'm kind of thinking at the moment that it would be better to leave the cotton for the next one and just stick with the cereals and that we've got, because we won't have to get another planter. That's all I'm thinking, is we won't have to go and get another planter. We won't have to set up something different. We won't have to go and get all of the other harvesters, and that way you all get to see me move on to the new map faster, which is the reason I'm saying all this is because the impression I'm getting from comments is that people are ready for me to move on from here. So yeah, it's kind of it's one of those things where you're never really quite sure there's always going to be some people want me to stay here and keep doing this and spend another 100 episodes here on this map, slowly working my way towards doing everything, doing what I've talked about but with the big machinery, but doing it on this map instead of moving to a new one. And then of course there'll be other people who just want to change the scenery, change pace, change scenery. Mixed up a little bit, that sort of thing. And, we can do either, really. We'll let that combine carry on there. We have now got our... Crumbs, I forgot how much this was. 17,000 litres of grain in one combine. That is pretty impressive, really. That is quite an impressive quantity of grain. Now, I don't know if the combine is going to be able to keep going, just working from one side of the field. I'm hoping it will. Then we won't have to bother with moving it round and nursing it or anything at all. The train just went through, so we should be fine for crossing the tracks over here. There's always a slight concern whenever we come to crossing the tracks, is whether or not those gates are going to come down on top of us. and cause us a little bit of a hiccup. Always a concern. Now we come up round here. Oop, steady, steady. Vehicles in the way. I could probably get round there. Oh, no, I don't think I'd have been able to if I hadn't swung out round a little bit. I'm always curious if I'd be able to do that or not. But then if you do kind of hang it up and you get a little bit, if you miss it a little bit, the way the collisions work in this game, it is always a real headache. If you get caught on the side of something, it kind of clips into it and then holds it. And so the collisions work in such a way as to really cause you some serious issues. Now, why are you... Stop there. Are you... Oh, you're just full. Okay, that's fine. Yeah, that's fine. I can cope with that. Just if you're just full, we'll bring you underneath and we will empty you out. So there's another 17,000. Going to take us up to 30-odd thousand litres. We've got that much down in the grain store down the bottom. Thinking we ought to go and get our trailer down there, and we could run up and we could feed one lot of the chickens. That's going to be our next big task, isn't it? We got to buy a load more chickens. That could take a while. I just want to stay here and empty this one out completely because I want to take the truck as soon as I've done here, take it back across the road so that I'm ready to start unloading the other one as soon as that one is filled up. Right, there we go. That's that one done. So now we go over here. We go across the road over there, up to the top, and I'll leave it there, ready to start unloading. Actually, I won't go all the way to the top. I'll leave it down here part way, because otherwise we're going to end up being in the way of the combine, aren't we? That's what will happen. I don't know how high I can go, really. Genuinely don't. Let's bring you on round here. And... I don't think I need to worry about it too much. We'll stop there for a minute. And we will go straight down to this one. This is the one that we want. So we want to get wheat into here. And then we need to go up to the chickens. And somebody pointed out last week, rightly so, there's something that I haven't done with the chickens, with the new chickens. You just go in there and start loading that. Something I haven't done with the new chickens is this. There is one tiny little detail that I haven't taken care of with the new chickens, that I did with all the other chickens, but I haven't with the new ones. So what I need to do is I need to go up to there, and I need to go change landscaping mode, and then I want to change the material. I think it's that one. See, again, they just have pictures, and this is something that is really... It becomes increasingly frustrating with this game, is that there's just pictures for everything. They don't have a mouse over with just a small, tiny description of what each one is. Like, I can't quite see if that is concrete or mud or the gravel surface that I want. Now, it does actually look like that is the gravel surface that I want, so that's quite lucky. No, several people said I haven't put the gravel in for the chicken pens. I need to make sure I put the gravel in so that they've got some gravel there for them to peck at. So there we go, we've done that bit. I completely forgot to do that bit. And here is our trailer load of grain. So we'll run this 31,000 litres here. I'll take this up to the top pen, and then we can start buying chickens up there. I've done everything else that I need to up there. All I want to do now is get this tractor up round there, and then we can start actually buying the chickens. So I bring you on. I'm not going to bother with the beacons or anything. And we'll start with the one at the very top, because we can get we can get the lorry to these two down here. I think that is an acceptable thing. But getting right up to the top, I don't really think we can realistically expect the lorry to be able to drag feed all the way up here, because it's just going to be too heavy. We can get some empty pallets up here if we really need to. Helper C has a nearly full grain tank. Right, well, we'll keep going on round here, because we need to be able to put the food in, but we haven't bought any chickens yet, so we can't really put very much. We want to buy all 400 chickens. I'm not going to let this one, let these pens just increase slowly in numbers. We're just going to go and buy all the chickens outright, just like that, immediately, as fast as we can. And then we've expanded our chicken operations. If we wanted to do it a little bit slow, you can actually move chickens using the machinery, which that's something I don't like. Right, you can move sheep around, you can move horses, you can move cows, you can move pigs. So if you've got one pen that's completely full, you can go along and you could load up the some of the pigs from the full pen and go over to the next pen and then start filling up the next pen. So you sort of start seeding your next one. So you don't have to go and buy more. But you can't do that with chickens. Chickens, you've actually got to go and just buy them outright. You can only sell them from one pen and then buy them in another one, which doesn't really make a lot of sense. I don't know why we can't move the chickens around. You'd be able to move like 200 or 300 chickens in a single move. So why can't we do that with the animal trailers? We've got animal trailers there. I mean, yeah, technically you should have a specialist animal trailer if you're planning on moving a great big load of chickens, because it would be more of a specialist move thing, really, wouldn't it? But it would still be something that would be done. You wouldn't have a farmer that breeds chickens that never moves chickens from one place to another. I mean, yeah, I know that you don't move them around as much as you would with things like cows and pigs and that. It's a little bit different. But it's still a thing that is possible. Right, we'll move out here. We'll run over to the other combine and we'll get that. There comes the train. So by the time we get down to the cross... Actually, you know what? We're gonna go round. We're gonna anchor round on two wheels like that. Look at him go! Look at him! It does sort of work. Let's bring it round. It works better the first time. Going to work now? Not really. I'm going too slow for it at the moment. I'm going to try and do this again, but I want it to actually work. Bring you down that way, and then he sort of went on the tee. It didn't quite do it. I was hoping I'd be able to get him to sort of skid round a little bit. That one is just about full. We want to, yeah. Well, he's going to stop moving by the time we get over there, and well, we might bring that combine over this side and start working. We'll deal with the chickens first. We want to get those all loaded up. I want all of the chickens in there. Let me... Is that going to work? Now he's working. There, see, two wheels. Now I'm doing the two wheels thing. Whoa, 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 whoa. Okay, too much. Too much. Right. We're a little bit excessive with that. We went through all right, but we were a little excessive. There he goes. I want to be able to get it on two wheels as we go across the fields, but you need to like build up a decent speed for it as well, don't you? So we come round there like that, and then there like that. Look at it. Look at it. Properly two wheels that was. Well, almost. It's not going to flip it over onto its side. I mean, I suppose that's actually quite a good thing that it won't flip it onto its side. And that could get a little bit messy. So we've got a tiny bit here to do left on this field. That will finish this combine completely. It should do. We're going to have to drive on the neighbour's field, and then we're going to drive on our own field. Mess things up a little bit. Not an ideal situation, but I'm sure it'll be fine. There. Right. That should... Oh, actually, how much do we put in one load? Oh, it's like 80 odd thousand in one load, isn't it? It's 170... There's 85,000 that we can put in one load. So, yeah, we won't have any trouble taking all of the wheat on board here. Back up there a little bit. There we go, like that. And then start inching forward. 65,000 on board. And 68,000. I'll move this one all the way up to the other combine as soon as he's finished loading. Right, so we've got 70,000 litres on there. And then... Well, where's this one over there? It's not going to take very long to finish this, so we should... That combine will be able to finish there, and then we'll be able to drive it over to the other field, and we can just unload direct into this vehicle here, right, into the truck. The combine up there, I'm not quite sure what it's doing at the moment. I'm going to go straight through this way. We're going to miss the car. I was going to say truck. That's a car. Miss that one. Go right through there. Bounce around a little bit. Bump our head on the roof of the cab as we really test the suspension of everything that exists on this vehicle. And then we'll be fine. Bring this one up round here. And... well, we're going on the angle of it there. He probably won't come all the way up to the end here, but he's going to get close, so we'll stop there. And now I'll head over to this one. And before I do anything else, I want to load up the chickens. So we want to have a look in here first. We've got brown, we've got black, we've got white, and we've got brown. What we actually want is one of each. Because we got 3 more, so we're going to want one of each. So I'm going to start off with this one. And we are back to doing the one aspect of this game that I genuinely despise. We now have to press a button every single time we buy an animal. The single greatest improvement that they made in FS17 was to introduce the scroll. Right, we could scroll on the mouse in order to move animals across. It wasn't brilliant. The rest of the world, the rest of the gaming world has established that you can use a slider bar for such things. But no, they went for the traditional button mashing and forced us. But we did have the scroll button. And so then they found out that this was probably the best idea that they'd come up with for the whole of Farming Simulator. And so they got rid of it. And I cannot understand the logic of this. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. And yes, I'm annoyed about it. And no, I've got no shame in sitting here and saying that I think it's absolutely ridiculous. And I'll say it again. I'm not confirm. Right, how many did I buy? I got 15,000 in new livestock right there. 300. Right, we want to get another 100 in here. So we go to there. So it's 20,000 altogether that we need. In bought chickens. That would make sense. 5,000 per 100. So yeah, you've actually got to sit here and you've got to hit the button 400 times to buy 400 chickens, which is completely and totally ridiculous as far as I'm concerned. That is something that is completely unnecessary and should not be an aspect of the game. It's like the other advantages that we've got with gaming, the other improvements that there are with gaming now, and we've gone back to no scroll button options, no slider. You haven't even got like just a slider bar, just right there, right? All we want, go to here like this, press R, and then here we can select one, and I've got to press enter to move. Now I could press enter, and then it could say how many, a pop-up with how many, and you can type in how many you want. Or you could do it in increments of 10 or 100, just to make it, even if it's just increments of 10, right? Then you've only got to hit the button 40 times instead of 400 times. But nope, somebody decided that I'm guessing the person that came up with this decision, this utterly ridiculous decision, is someone that doesn't actually play the game at all. That would be my guess. It's the person that designed it has never played the game, and I know that I'm not alone in complaining about this, because I've seen a lot of other people complaining about this, and several other little things that really, really give the strong impression that some of the people who've been designing features for this game never play it. They don't play it at all. They're just sort of doing it on paper, and going back to the good old days of choose your own adventure in books, where you had to write stuff down in the books. Because that's kind of what it feels like, right? Honestly, there's some massive, huge improvements to this game. It's absolutely awesome stuff. It really is. But then you've got things like that it just sort of really does make it feel like someone who doesn't play the game is involved with doing some of the design work, and their input has been to completely destroy features that are actually useful in gaming. So my message to Giants, if anybody from Giants is watching, is please get rid of anybody on your team that doesn't play computer games, because they are spoiling this for the people that actually do play computer games. And yeah, I know I'm not normally one to complain like this, and well, maybe I do from occasionally, but I don't normally make a habit of big complaints. But this is something that really does irritate me. Is like that there's a couple of little things like this, and I just recently seen someone posting up a poll asking for complaints about the game, just little things that you feel should not be in a game of this caliber in this day and age, right? We're 2019 now. The gaming has progressed in leaps and bounds, and there are some aspects of Farming Simulator that should not even, it should not be a thing, right? There are some things in this game that should not be there. They absolutely, definitely shouldn't be there, and they really give the strong impression that the person that added them in has never once fired up their copy of Farming Simulator and actually played it. And you don't want to get that impression from a game. You don't want to walk away thinking, well, this could have been a good game if the person who developed it, or if some of the people who helped develop it, actually played the game. Because what they're doing is they're removing features that people want to use. Okay. I switched the engine off. This is quite cool. Like, I switched the engine on. The brake comes on there, but I switched the engine off, and I'm just kind of rolling off down the hill. I've never experienced that before. This one here, going all the way up across the field, is actually quite good. I have experienced that before, but it's not something I want to worry about right now. We will... Actually, we'll finish this field off here. We'll go and get that little bit up behind us, and then we will spin round, and we will go and get the other bit. So we'll go back over to there and start you up. I mean, the other aspects of the animals, where we've got the animal pens, and you're actually limited on the number of animals that you can put in one spot. So rather than having a small pen that you've got 1,000 animals in, if you want 1,000 animals, you've got to have several different pens in order to be able to run your 1,000 animals. I thought that was really, really good, right? That's really some good, fantastic progress, as well as the terraforming tools that we've now got. Those are really good. And yes, some aspects of it are a little bit rudimentary, but generally those tools are fantastic, and they're really good. You can really, really customize your own farm now with them. It would be nice to see some additional aspects of it, like being able to place down the weeds or remove the weeds from different places, and a few other little bits like that. It would be really cool to be able to see those changes. But that's kind of the sort of thing that you can live with. But it's things like just the animals, buying the animals, where you've got that just tiny, tiny little detail of having to press the button for every animal that you buy, rather than what it was in the last one, where you at least had a scroll bar that you could use, which they've gotten rid of. And that's the bit that I don't get. It's not like they've just never had the feature. It's that they had the feature, and then someone thought, you know what, the single biggest... Like, you looked on some of the forum... I've seen forum posts over the last 12 months where what was the biggest change that you liked? What was the biggest change for the better that you liked from FS15 up to FS17? And the fact that you had a scroll bar for buying animals was frequently mentioned in such posts. I know I'm driving on the crop right now. I know. No shame right here. I feel no shame in doing this. But that was actually mentioned as one. It was considered by many to be the single biggest improvement from one version of the game to the next. And they went and removed it. Why? Why did they remove it? I cannot get my head round this. And this is like... it's one of those things that, you know, occasionally it'll pop up into my head, and it really frustrates me because this game has got so much to offer. And it's a fantastic game. I love playing it. But you look at some of the things that they've done, and it's like, have you got people on your team who are deliberately trying to sabotage it from within? And I know that there's a whole load of other stuff that some people are not happy with as well. Like the modding support and stuff like that. There's all aspects of that people don't really like. But as I don't make mods, I can't really comment on that. It's not affected me personally, so I don't really know. And yeah, I know that there are frustrations, and I appreciate there are frustrations. But as I know nothing about them, I'm not getting involved with it. I'm not going to comment. I'm not going to make comments regarding the whole modding situation, although I know that there are some experienced modders who've decided not to do it anymore because of some significant changes that have been made, which I think is a fair indication that there's something wrong with that as well. But we're getting new mod groups coming in, and that's good, and I like that we're getting new mod groups coming in, but still, you sort of look at it, and again, you're asking yourself the question, is there actually someone in the Giants team that is actively working to try and sabotage their own product? Because that is the impression that you're sometimes walking away with. Right, before I'm going to stop now. I'm going to stop ranting about it, because otherwise I'm going to get myself in trouble. Because Giants do very kindly furnish me with a free copy of the game, and they also very kindly furnish me with free copies of DLCs and stuff like that. So, but you know, for the most, but however, I will just state that they never, at any point, I have never at any point been told by Giants that my review or look at their game must follow a certain set of guidelines, or that it must only be positive. There are some gaming companies that will only allow positive reviews of their games. I despise that. I hate that idea, and I won't do it. Giants, they say criticize. They say show everything. If you don't like it, then by all means, publish it in a video and say what you don't like. That, they have a huge, huge amount of respect from me for. That is something I feel is very worthy of respect. They are quite happy to take the criticism, and they do often address it. But so there are some things that they do address, and they do alter, and they change. There are other things that they don't, but you do. So yeah, as a company, as a whole, I'm quite impressed with Giants, and I'm impressed with their game. I'm impressed with their product. I really enjoy playing the game, but there's little niggling details that still leave me frustrated. So yeah, to conclude my long rant that I've been going on, it's probably gone across 2 episodes. Yes, I'm incredibly frustrated with what Giants have done in places, but at the same time, I think that they've got a fantastic product, and I really enjoy playing it. So yeah, that's the conclusion of my rant. I'm just going to wet my whistle a minute. Right, that combine is away down there. I've got another combine down over here that is almost done. So what we're going to do, we're going to offload. Well, there we go, folks. I'm afraid that's it. We've run out of time, which means that we need to head on home. So if you've enjoyed this episode, then please hit down below and give us a like. And if you really enjoyed it, then please tell your friends all about me. Get them to come and watch as well. That would be awesome. And until next time, thank you very much for watching. This is Frithgar. Goodbye, and see you later.